Welcome to today's news. The news headline: Biafra. Why Nnamdi Kanu was brought back from Kenya. Buhari government tells courts. Welcome to the news once again, and thank you for tuning in to today's news. But please don't forget to subscribe to this channel by clicking on the subscribe button and the bell for more updates. To the news details, please listen carefully to the end. The President Muhammadu Buhari-led federal government has explained why it arrested the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, in Kenya, and returned him to Nigeria. It explained that Kanu was subjected to extraordinary rendition from Kenya so he could continue his ongoing trial in Nigeria. The explanation was contained in the federal government's amended notice of appeal before the Supreme Court, marked SC/CR/1361/2021. The appeal was against the October 13, 2021 judgment of the Court of Appeal in Abuja, where it held that Kanu's extraordinary rendition from Kenya to Nigeria robs the trial courts of its jurisdiction to try him on the 7-count charge on which he was being tried before the IPOB leader absconded. In the 13th amended notice of appeal filed by David Kaswe of the Federal Ministry of Justice, the federal government argued that the appeal courts erred when they held that the extraordinary rendition of the Kanu robbed the trial courts of the jurisdiction to hear the pending charges before the court, even before the respondent illegally jumped bail and absconded. Kanu was standing trial on a 5-count charge preferred against him by the federal government. In the course of proceedings, he illegally jumped bail and absconded from Nigeria. The respondent was only returned to Nigeria to continue his trial before the court, it said. The federal government accused the appeal courts of failing to consider the illegality of Kanu jumping bail and his refusal to make himself available for trial, which necessitated his return to Nigeria. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court okayed the federal government to file 9 grounds of appeal. A 5-man panel of the Apex Court, led by Justice John Okoro, granted the federal government permission for the appeal. The indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, was extradited and renditioned from Kenya to Nigeria. And now, the federal government have given reasons why Nnamdi Kanu was brought back to Nigeria from Kenya. They said that before now, in 2017, Nnamdi Kanu was tried, and after being tried on a 13-count charge, he jumped bail and left the country. So they went to Kenya to extradite him so that he can continue his trial back in Nigeria. That was the main reason why he was extradited, not that it was illegal. So the federal government is also blaming the courts, the appeal courts, for not talking about the illegality in which Kanu also made of jumping bail and absconding from Nigeria to Kenya. So the federal government has actually, they've given the reason why Nnamdi Kanu was returned back. And Nnamdi Kanu was already standing on a 5-count charge. Previously it was 13 counts, but the Court of Appeal reduced it to 5-count charge. And he illegally jumped the bail and absconded, so they had to find a way to bring him back to Nigeria, and he was extradited. That is, he was returned to Nigeria to continue his trial before the court. Meanwhile, the federal government has already slammed 9 new grounds at the Supreme Court, and this has frustrated Nnamdi Kanu's release. The federal government released another 9 fresh new grounds, and a 5-member panel that was led by Justice John Okoro granted the leave while ruling on the motion by the counsel to the federal government, Mr. Tijani Ghazali. The Apex Court also granted leave to the federal government to include these 9 new grounds as part of its amended notice of appeal, dated 58 October 2022. And Nnamdi Kanu, who has been extradited and renditioned back to Nigeria since 2021, his trial has always been adjourned, and this is affecting Nnamdi Kanu, and as people are thinking or saying that it is because it is not a political issue, that if it is other matter, the court would have said something. And why is the federal government not actually releasing Nnamdi Kanu based on what the Court of Appeal has said? We have come to the end of the news. What's your take? Please share your comments in the comment section. Thank you.